Have you ever stopped to think that the way you speak to your doctor might actually decide how well you're cared for? For many older adults, this happens without them even noticing. It's not about using fancy medical words or memorizing every detail of your health history. Often, it's the small, everyday habits in the way we talk that quietly work against us. The truth is, the words you choose, the tone you use, and the way you share your concerns can all shape the quality of care you receive. And here's the part that often goes unnoticed. Your doctor can only work with the information you give them. If what you share isn't clear, complete, or direct, even the most skilled physician can miss something crucial. This isn't about blaming yourself or thinking you've done something wrong. Many seniors naturally develop these habits after years of trying to be polite, avoiding complaints, or assuming that certain struggles are just part of aging. But here's the reality. Those little conversational patterns can have very big consequences. They can cause you to miss out on treatment, delay a diagnosis, or leave your appointment without fully understanding your next steps. In this video, we're going to uncover the 5 hidden ways older adults sometimes sabotage their own doctor visits without even realizing it. These are habits you may not notice in yourself, but they can quietly put your health at risk. We'll look at what these patterns sound like, why they happen, and what you can do instead to make sure you're heard, respected, and cared for. Stick with me until the very end, because the last one is something even the most cautious, thoughtful patients often get wrong, and fixing it could completely change how your future appointments go. Number 1, downplaying or minimizing symptoms. One of the most common mistakes older adults make at a doctor's appointment is brushing off or minimizing their symptoms. It sounds like, oh, it's just a little stiffness, or it's not really that bad. You may think you're being polite or not wanting to waste the doctor's time, but in truth, you're making it harder for them to do their job. Doctors build the picture of your health from the details you provide. If you shrink those details or make them sound smaller than they really are, it's like handing them an incomplete puzzle and expecting them to see the whole image. This habit often comes from years of putting others first, being tough, or not wanting to seem like you're complaining. I've known people who lived with discomfort for months simply because they didn't want to bother the doctor. Take my friend Eleanor, who was 76 at the time. She had been feeling a dull heaviness in her chest every evening, but told herself it was just fatigue from gardening. During a routine checkup, she casually mentioned it as just being tired at night. That one comment made the doctor pause and order further tests. It turned out Eleanor had an early-stage heart condition that needed immediate treatment. Later, she told me, "If I had brushed it off a little more, I don't know if I'd still be here today." Her story is proof that what feels minor to you could mean something very different to a trained professional. The best thing you can do is describe your symptoms honestly and fully, without softening them. If pain has lasted 3 weeks, say 3 weeks. If you wake up every night, say every night. If it affects your daily routine, be open about exactly how. This isn't about seeking pity. It's about giving your doctor the complete tools they need to protect your health. A good doctor will never see honesty as complaining. They'll see it as essential. Remember, this is your time. Don't waste it by hiding what you really feel. Number 2, speaking in vague or unclear terms. Another habit that creates problems is using general, vague language instead of precise details. Many older adults will say things like, "I just don't feel right," or "it hurts sometimes," without explaining when, where, or how. While those words might make sense to you, to your doctor, they leave a lot of guessing. And in medicine, guessing can be dangerous. The less detail you provide, the harder it is for your doctor to reach the right conclusion. One reason this happens is that we don't always track our symptoms closely. By the time we get to the appointment, everything has blurred together. Another reason is habit. In everyday conversation, vague language works. But in a medical setting, precision is everything. Your doctor needs to know when the problem started, how often it happens, what makes it worse, what eases it, and how severe it feels. Without that, they're trying to fill in the blanks, which can delay treatment. I think of George, an 82-year-old friend. When he went to see his doctor, all he said was, "I've been feeling weak." The doctor asked a few follow-ups, but George couldn't recall whether the weakness came in the morning or at night. If it was constant or occasional, or if it got worse after activity. With so few details, the doctor had almost nothing to work with. Weeks later, after the weakness worsened, further testing revealed iron deficiency anemia that could have been managed much sooner. To avoid this, prepare before you go. Write down your symptoms, when they began, how they feel, and what affects them. If it's pain, describe it. Is it stabbing, burning, dull, or throbbing? If it's tiredness, does it come after meals, or after walking, or only at night? This isn't overcomplicating things. It's like giving your doctor a clear map instead of a blurry sketch. And when it comes to your health, clarity is one of the greatest gifts you can give. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, drop a number 2 in the comments so I know you're here. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Number 3, forgetting to bring a written list of concerns. Another missed opportunity is showing up to your appointment without a written list of what you want to cover. You might think, I'll remember when I'm there. But once you sit in that exam room, it's easy to forget half of what you wanted to say. Maybe the conversation drifts, or the doctor focuses on one issue, and before you know it, your time is up. This isn't forgetfulness. It happens to everyone. Appointments can feel rushed and stressful, and our minds go blank in the moment. But if you don't bring a list, you leave your care to chance. Doctors aren't mind readers. If you don't bring something up, it may never get addressed. I've seen people leave appointments still worrying about the exact issues they came in with, simply because they never mentioned them. Take Samuel, a 79-year-old neighbor. He went in to discuss his cholesterol medication, but had also been dealing with frequent nighttime urination and mild dizziness. Because he didn't write them down, he forgot to mention them. Weeks later, the dizziness became worse, and it turned out both problems were connected to his medication. If he had shared everything at once, the doctor might have caught it earlier. The solution is simple. Before your appointment, write down every concern, big or small, and rank them by importance. Bring the list with you and keep it visible. Even if you can't cover everything in one visit, at least your doctor knows the full picture and can prioritize with you. Walking into a doctor's visit without a list is like grocery shopping without knowing what you need. You almost always leave without something important. But with a list, you maximize your time and ensure nothing gets left behind. Number 4, assuming the doctor remembers everything. A quiet but common mistake is believing your doctor remembers every detail of your history. Even if you've been seeing them for years, they see dozens of patients every week. They might recall the outline of your health, but not every result, symptom, or a medication change. If you assume they know, you might skip over updates that are actually critical. I remember Clara, age 74, who visited her doctor for back pain. She assumed her doctor remembered her long history of osteoporosis and didn't mention that she had also started a new arthritis medication a few months earlier. That detail was key. The new medication was worsening her back issues. Because Clara didn't bring it up, it took multiple extra appointments before they connected the dots. Yes, doctors keep medical records, but those records don't always capture every detail, and sometimes they're too large to review fully before each visit. If you don't bring up new information, you leave a gap that could delay your care. The best approach is to start each appointment with a quick, clear update. Mention new medications, vitamins, or lifestyle changes since your last visit. Share any new symptoms, even if they seem unrelated. Something as simple as, since my last appointment, I started this new medication and noticed these changes, gives your doctor a stronger foundation to work from. Think of it as catching up with a friend. You wouldn't expect them to know what's happened in your life unless you told them. Your doctor is your partner, but that partnership only works if you keep them in the loop. If you're still with me, type number 4 in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. We've got more practical, life-changing content coming. Number 5, talking too much without letting the doctor guide. For many seniors, a doctor's appointment feels like the one chance to unload everything they've been holding in for months. So they start from the very beginning, covering every ache, every memory, and every side story, hoping nothing gets missed. The problem is, this can actually make things harder. Appointments are short, and doctors are trained to guide the conversation in a way that gathers the most important details quickly. If you overwhelm the discussion with too much at once, you risk losing valuable time and clarity. Imagine driving with a GPS that keeps pointing you toward your destination, but you keep pulling off to explore side roads. You may never get where you need to go. I remember Joan, a 78-year-old friend. She went in to discuss hip pain, but by the time she shared stories about her sister's surgery, her grandkids, and the way the pain came and went over the years, half the appointment was gone. The doctor barely had time to examine her hip before the visit ended. This doesn't mean you should withhold important information. It means you should allow the doctor to guide the flow. A simple trick is to bring a short list of your top concerns, hand it to the doctor at the start, and then let them prioritize. When explaining symptoms, begin with the key point. I feel sharp pain in my left hip whenever I stand up after sitting. From there, let your doctor ask for more details. This way, you give them exactly what they need without overwhelming the conversation. It's not about talking less. It's about talking in a way that supports your doctor's process. When you work together this way, you leave with clearer answers, better solutions, and a stronger plan. The way we speak at the doctor's office influences our care more than most of us realize. Words can either create clarity and trust or confusion and delay. As we get older, every appointment carries more weight, which makes it even more important to approach these conversations with focus and honesty. You don't have to become someone new. You just need to be intentional with how you use the precious minutes in that room. Think of your voice as a bridge between what you feel and what your doctor can help you with. If the bridge is strong and clear, the path forward is much easier. If it's cluttered or unclear, the journey slows down. Simple habits, like preparing your main points, letting your doctor guide, and speaking openly without minimizing, can completely change your experience. I've known people who dreaded going to the doctor because they felt unheard, but once they shifted how they communicated, their whole outlook transformed. When you leave a visit feeling understood and cared for, the peace of mind lasts far beyond that one appointment. So next time you sit across from your doctor, remember, you're not just a patient. You're a partner, and your words are one of the strongest tools you have. Use them wisely, and you'll walk away with more than instructions. You'll walk away with confidence, trust, and hope for better days ahead. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below sharing one thing you learned and how you plan to use it in your own life. Reading your comments inspires and motivates us to keep creating content like this. If this video was helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Your support makes it possible for us to continue bringing you practical tips that empower and inspire. We'll see you in the next video.